Hey, we're here with Charlotte Cornfield. So thanks so much for taking the time on this, well, what can only be described as a February day in Toronto.
Absolutely.
Leif Volbeck told me
Yes.
about you a long time ago. And I don't know, for whatever reason, I never investigated it further, which is weird because I take what Leif has to say pretty seriously and checked out some of his other stuff and I've become friends with the Balconies because of Leif and other things. And it kind of disappeared. And then Sari, who works at Audio Blood, sent along the request to do this interview, and I'm like, wow, I'm a loser. I should have been listening to this a long time ago. But that Collage Light is from 2 years ago.
It is, yeah.
And you've been gigging and finishing your degree in drumming. Is that right?
Yeah, jazz drumming. I can
Jazz
call it,
drumming. So
yeah.
you're a crazy drummer then.
I wouldn't say crazy, but I love to play the drums.
You love to play.
Sure. Yeah.
By rich and stuff, or
More on the, I don't know. Do you know Brian Blade?
Of course, I know Brian
He's like
Blade.
my favorite drummer.
Yeah.
So like kind of different jazz and rock styles and different kind
right.
of stuff.
Well, Brian Blade, of course, is on that Black Dub record, right? Or
I love Black Dub. Yeah.
So he's friends with Lanois and
Totally.
plays with Lanois and all that stuff. So that's great. So I get that. But really, as a musician, you're a songwriter first, right?
Yeah, I would almost hesitate to say first because I really think like drumming and being a singer-songwriter are like two very important things to me, and I like to put equal weight on each. But yeah, I guess like I've been out there doing my thing, and like under my name, I play my own music, and that's a huge
right.
thing,
You are in other bands. I mean, you have a crazy bunch of stuff going on, right?
Yeah.
So you're in what band are you in?
I was in a band called Bent by Elephants until recently, and I have stopped working with them, but I play in a band called TAC, which is a jazz quartet in Montreal that gigs pretty often. We do the festival circuit jazz stuff.
But let's talk about Charlotte Cornfield,
Cool,
the solo singer-songwriter, artist, non-drummer, guitar person. Why? Like, what? I mean, if the drumming thing is going well and you're obviously trained in drumming, why do you need to have a voice as a singer-songwriter?
Oh, I think it was something that I always did, songwriting, and it's a method of expression that's completely different from drumming, and it gives me a chance to put together words and music, which are two very important pillars in my life. And since the beginning, it's kind of always been the way I've felt that I've communicated best is in song and stuff.
Let's talk about the songs and stuff, and specifically the words in your songs, because I think what I appreciate is all the words that are compacted into such a small little space.
Yeah.
And it's very reminiscent of Dylan or even Joni to a certain degree, but it's that styling that I find actually refreshing and great. And the fact that you just express what's on your mind, probably is that good for you? Is it helpful for you to put, I guess, pen to paper on what's going on in your head? Is it something that you don't need to see a psychiatrist about? I mean, what?
Yeah, I guess like the audience is my psychiatrist. Or like I don't know. Like it's funny. I've always said that Joni Mitchell is one of my like biggest influences that way, and her whole thing is that she doesn't hold back.
Right.
And like I feel like for music itself, like powerful music says so much on its own, and I think to kind of, for me, it's just been about letting go and letting it flow through music and words. And so I sometimes say things that are like pretty like hard on the sleeve, but I'm okay with that because that's how I feel like I can achieve the best song.
Relationships seem to be a focal point, at least on Collage Light, of what's going on. Are those relationships in the past now? Have we moved on and forgotten about those people that may have broken hearts?
Yeah, well, I would say that they're in the past. And the new Collage Light kind of focuses on one specific relationship, and the new record is kind of a concept album, kind of all in relation to another one.
So let's talk about the new record, because recording it now? You finished?
I finished recording it.
You
Yeah.
finished recording. You're mixing it now.
Yeah.
But you really wanted to wait, right, until you were done school to really put your heart and full emphasis on the new record.
Yeah, I wanted to be able to focus all my time and energy on it, which is what happened.
So it's going to be massive then, right?
I hope so. Yeah. I basically I've been living in Montreal for 4 years, and I moved back here for 3 months to just do the record. Like, that was what I did. So
Let me ask you about that, because that's interesting. You've moved from Toronto, which people could perceive as the greatest place in Canada to make a record, just given the facilities and the people that live in the city and all of that, to a place that has an emerging music scene. But why Montreal? Was it just to study, and so you?
Well, I still live there.
Okay.
And yeah, Montreal is just, I moved there to study, it's
Right.
true. But I also wanted the community, and I found an incredible music community there, and I'm really excited about a lot of stuff that's
Right.
happening there. And yeah.
So, but you still decided to come here to make the record.
Yeah, well, mainly it was to work with a guy named Ryan Granville
Right.
Martin, who is a producer who I've been friends with for a long time. He used to teach me drums, and he was just like, I was just like, I need the right guy, or I need the right person to work with, and that was it.
What is it about the Montreal atmosphere, and specifically, I guess, in Anglophone Montreal, about this emerging music community? And Arcade Fire aside, there seems to be an emerging industry of Canadian music that's coming out of Montreal. Is there any? Can you put your finger on any one specific thing
that makes it what it is?
Yeah.
Well, I think that people started gravitating to Montreal after the whole Arcade Fire thing happened. And because of that, and because it's affordable to live, and the Anglo community is very centered in a couple of specific neighborhoods.
Yeah.
So it's just like a mecca for creativity.
Right.
And people aren't inhibited. I find in Toronto is a little more sprawled out, and people tend to get gravitating to scenes more.
Right.
And in Montreal, no matter the genre, if you're a musician, you likely are connected to this group of people,
Right,
and you
right.
have a lot to draw from, which is cool.
So the record's not out till when?
The record, we'll see when it comes out. I'm going to release a couple of the tunes in March.
Yep.
And then I would say it'll for sure be out by the fall, if not before then.
Wow, the fall
Yeah.
we have to wait.
Well, yeah. But I would like to get it out earlier. We'll see what we can do.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for taking the time, and you're going to play for us, which we're psyched about, and,
Cool.
And we'll see you soon.
Yeah, thank you for having
you.
me.
Exploremusic wears English Laundry apparel.